Nidecker definitely aren't short of any carving and freeride dedicated shapes, but the Escpape right here is possibly their most versatile all-mountain snowboard. It's also available this season in a split version as well as a supercharged plus version, but we are here on the original classic.
Boy, did we get the conditions for this board. Now, it's always going to be easy to have a good day in the backcountry or the park when you've got blue skies, good snow, and the right kit under your feet. But when's the last time you did both in the same day, on the same board? The weather gods aligned for us when we took Nidecker's redesigned Escpape up the mountain, and we were able to put its all-mountain claims to the test. Spoiler alert, they weren't lying. Understandably then, the Escpape is one of Nidecker's best-selling boards, and while they've made some tweaks and changes to this season's model, a lot of the construction and design remains unchanged. But first up, what's new? Well, the camber for one thing. So last season's Escapes featured a full tip-to-tail camber, where this year it has pockets of early rocker rise in the nose and tail. The board still retains a lot of power on edge and pop on the ends, but I think it was a smart move to bring in that rise at the contact points. Not only does it make the ends of the board a little more forgiving and pressable, I'd say it now has the edge on last season's model in terms of its float in powder. You've also got a 15mm setback stance and just the slightest taper, and both of these will also help out in this department without really compromising any switch performance. Have a look at the shape too. The tail is a lot more blunt than the previous iterations, and the new diamond-shaped nose gives it an altogether more modern outline. There's not a massive advantage to this in terms of how it rides, but it sure does look nice. And actually, the whole look of this year's Escpape is a big step up for me. The ash wood veneer top sheet looks the business, and it also has some function by adding to the board's overall pop and responsiveness, or so Nidecker say at least. I can't really comment on how effective that specifically was, but overall the test team found the Escpape to be pretty lively, with a lot of energy at the ends of the board in particular. Makes sense though, the core is constructed out of no less than 4 different woods to create a really tough, lightweight and reactive flex, and that's sandwiched on either side with triax fiberglass laminates. The extra power outside the inserts comes in the form of carbon stringers that run from each of the insert packs out to the very ends of the board. How that translated to performance out on the snow was really effective. The board has a 7 out of 10 flex rating, which is exactly where this kind of snowboard should be, but depending on what area of the board you were flexing or pressuring would change how responsive or how playful it felt. If you're looking to get airborne, there's a whole lot of firepower at the ends of the board, and similarly, if you're just charging around the mountain, you'll find you get a lot of stability outside of your feet. But if you're locking into a board slide or you're wanting to work the side cut and flex through the center of the board, it's generally a lot more torsionally forgiving. Underneath all of that, you'll find a pretty rapid sintered base fitted to the Escpape. There's even some added nano carbon particles, which we're told keep the board running super fast for long after its last wax. Certainly the feedback from our team was that it kept on trucking even once the snowpack had started to warm up and get pretty slushy. Okay, so that's about it for the Escpape. Now, there's understandably a lot of competition in this category, and there's also always a trade-off when it comes to buying an all-mountain snowboard versus a more specialized park or freeride shape. But with this year's tweaks to the shape and the profile, as well as Nidecker's quality materials packed into every inch of the board, it's definitely a standout in this category as one of the best on the market. Thanks for watching, guys. Let us know your questions down below if you have any, and make sure you subscribe to the Whitelines channel if you're wanting to see more reviews from our top 100 products of the year. See you next time.